What's up everyone, my name is Alpha and today we're back with another Pokemon challenge video. Today we're on Pokemon Radical Red and today's challenge is pretty interesting. Our challenge today will be, can I beat Pokemon Radical Red using only the new SEVII Island forms? Now I think of this video for a long time now and I really thought it wasn't possible until I really sat down and tried my best at it. It's gonna be my best attempt through Radical Red 3.0 with the brand new SEVII Island forms. If you guys do not know, in the brand new update of Radical Red, there are some new Pokemon with some new forms, the SEVII Island forms made by the creator themselves, and they're pretty cool. They give some new unique typings to some really cool Pokemon. However, there's not a lot of them before the post game of the game, so we're gonna have to try our best to beat the entire game of Radical Red using only those. Now, also included in these rules are each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments, so thanks so much for leaving a comment in the previous challenge video. If you guys want to be nicknamed after a future Pokemon in my future challenge video, just drop in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And while you're down there, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Leave any support on this channel and this video, it means a lot to me. Let's get into the challenge video itself. So to begin off, the SEVII Island forms are actually not that easy to get. So you have to clear through the first part of the game, which we got a Chikorita, which is actually kind of an L itself. But anyways, we're gonna go through all the way into Pewter City, and the only way to find SEVII Island form Pokemon is through the egg merchants in the game before the post game, obviously, and you have to just sit here until you get the best SEVII Island form Pokemon, because we have to also beat Faulkner and also Brock. So a Pokemon that's able to beat these two Pokemon, it's going to be hard to find, because there's not a single Pokemon I could think of in the SEVII Island forms that can. Episode 1, one Pokemon in my eyes possibly could do it with the right setup. That Pokemon will be Dhelmise. SEVII Island form Dhelmise makes it water and also grass type with the hidden ability Tinted Lens to boost not very effective moves, so it might be possible. I spent 4 hours sitting here hatching eggs and I didn't find a single Dhelmise, so I decided to actually skip ahead, trying to reroute it. So Feebas is the egg I got at Pewter City. The egg I get at Vermilion City will be a Dhelmise, so I decided to swap them. They'll be the same level. It's just that I couldn't find Dhelmise in this egg for some reason. Maybe it's locked out of that egg, but I found a Dhelmise like the first 3 attempts in the Vermilion City egg. So we're gonna keep the Feebas egg and we're gonna use it later on. We're gonna use the Dhelmise egg right now, and this Dhelmise is actually pretty useful. As you can see, we're able to actually beat down Faulkner using a grass and water type Pokemon. It took a few attempts obviously, but we needed the right combo pieces to knock out Faulkner since he's a flying type trainer, and we're able to beat down Faulkner and also face up against Brock next. Brock is not actually too difficult. We're able to get a Rapid Spin off against this Geodude, Mega Drain to knock him out. His Arcan comes out next. I'm able to Water Gun and one-shot him. His Vulpix is also not too scary, as I'm able to two-shot him, also two-shot the Onix. We're easily able to beat down Brock. That's not a problem at all. Now moving on into Cerulean City, after this, we're able to find ourselves our next egg merchant. There's actually technically only 4 people that gives you eggs, that gives you the possibility to find any SEVII Island forms before the post game, so we're kind of limited to 4 Pokemon, which is unfortunate. So in this egg from Cerulean City, we actually get ourselves a SEVII Island Dojo, which if you know from my previous Radical Red runs, this is actually a really cool Pokemon. It's ground and fire type, so it's really weak to water. Luckily enough, we do have a grass type to face off against Misty though, so we're able to go against Misty and just Giga Drain and just destroy her entire team. Growth, Giga Drain, Rapid Spin to boost our speed, and we're able to knock on the Frogadier, the Floatzel, and also the Starmie and Lantern, and that's an easy second badge. Now the game actually gets exponentially harder. As you can see, we're gonna go into the SSN. This double battle fight took me 25 minutes to figure out. There was no way to figure out because all my Pokemon were so weak to water types. It's impossible. Now since we're in Vermilion City, we have access to Feebas now, so now we have 3 Pokemon, which is really nice. But once we're able to clear through the SSN, we're able to go into the Rock Tunnel, clear through that, beat through the Rock Tunnel, which will give us access into obviously Celadon City and gives us access into the Prism Scale to evolve our Feebas into a Milotic, and then we could go back and face off against Lieutenant Surge next. Lieutenant Surge is going to be the 3rd gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Milotic, which is ground and fairy type, interesting typing. I'm able to Draining Kiss, basically knock out his Pincurchin and knock down his Vigavolt. I am able to knock him down low enough, which I could go out into my Dodrio, which is able to Flame Charge, get a speed boost, knock out the Vigavolt and also the Pincurchin, and then high horsepower knock out the Raichu, do a lot of damage to the Manectric and also knock him out. And then his final Pokemon will be a Bolton, which is unable to knock me out as we knock him out. And now we just move on. Moving on next, we're going to face off against Erika next. Erika is going to be a hard gym leader. We spent a lot of time facing off against Erika. There is no way to really figure her out. We spent a good hour against her, which it sucks because this is only a 7-hour run. So a lot of it was just hatching eggs and getting beat up by Erika. We're gonna start the battle off against Erika using my dojos to flame charge into the Rillaboom and then get lucky by using Iron Head to flinch down the Superior, and we're able to do maybe knock out the Superior and also Flame Wheel to knock out the Electro. That's why I keep it. And I'm also able to Flame Wheel once again to knock out the Rillaboom. Next up, she's going to switch out into a Meganium, which I decided to go out into my Dhelmise. Dhelmise again has Tinted Lens, so Giga Drain actually does a lot of damage against Meganium. So we're able to actually 1v1 the Meganium, and then she sends out her Mega Venusaur. I don't want to stay in, I go out to my Milotic next, I take a Sludge Bomb, which is okay, and I dodge a Sleep Power, which is huge for me. I'm able to Earth Power twice into the Venusaur, sack my Milotic, and then go out into my Dodrio to outspeed obviously and knock out the Venusaur, and we barely beat Erika, and such a good feeling because we spent such a long time against her. Next up, we're gonna actually go out into the Pokemon Center and hatch our next egg, which is gonna be a SEVII Island Blitzo. I always got a Mantike, but this time I got a Blitzo and I'm gonna take it. Blitzo has a very high special attack stat and also fast speed, ice and electric, which is a very unique typing and a very good coverage typing. And our first few battles with Zebstrika actually shows up pretty well. It knocks out our rival and also Archer and Ariana, and also does a lot of work against Giovanni for us, as we're able to beat all three of them down pretty easily. And now we can move on into the 5th gym leader in the game. We're gonna face off against Sabrina next. Sabrina is gonna be a double battle fight against us. We're gonna start the battle off against her using my Dodrio and also my Dhelmise, which is going to be pretty cool because we're able to Flare Blitz, one-shot the Indeedee, Iron Head into the Hatterene, and get it a flinch. I might have to restart for that, but that's okay. From there, I decided to go out and Flare Blitz into the Hatterene to knock him out, and also Chloroblast, which I don't know was the best idea, but we're going to end up sacking my Dojo, which is unfortunate. I then go out into my Milotic as she goes out to her Gardevoir. I'm just going to stay in. Dazzling will knock out the Crawdon, do some chip damage against the Gardevoir. Iron Head will actually knock down the Gardevoir to low HP, and with her setting up Trick Room, I am able to outspeed her once again, and Iron Head to knock her out. She then sends out her Ursaluna and also her Porygon 2. I decided to go out into my Zebstrika to sack it, get a Sweet Kiss off against the Ursaluna, and then Chloroblast into him. Luckily, it hits itself in confusion, or this would have been a dead run. So we're able to Chloroblast and knock out the Ursaluna, and Moonblast to knock out the Porygon 2. From there, we can go down a dreaded Pokemon Cycling Road, and it's just a super annoying. Luckily, we got through it with the team we have, and we face off against the 6th gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Koga next. Koga is going to be not too difficult at all. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Zebstrika to just Volt Switch and knock out the Swallow pretty easily. I go out into my Dodrio next, bait in the Greninja, go out into my Dhelmise, take a Surf obviously, and then Giga Drain to knock out the Greninja, and then he decides to go out into his Zelgor. I have to really hope and pray my Dodrio actually dodges a Focus Blast. Luckily enough, I actually do. Flame Charge will knock out the Zelgor. He then sends out his Dragapult, which I go out into my Milotic, which is a free switch. I am able to Earth Power, catch the Drapion, knock him out in one shot. The Dragapult comes out next. I am able to Moonblast, knock him out, and survive a hit against the Toxicity to Earth Power it 4 times weak would knock him out in one shot, and we end up beating Koga, which is insane. From there, the battles are actually going to get a lot easier once we actually beat down Price, get the Choice Scarf, and also beat down Jasmine to get the Choice Band. Now, things are just so much easier because I have boosting items. They're really good items. They're actually one of the most broken items, I would argue, in the game. From there, we're going to face off against Blaine next. Blaine is going to be the Fire-type gym leader of the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Dodrio to Swords Dance in front of his Torkoal, and then protect against his explosion, which I thought he's going to explode, but he's not. So I'm going to have to headlong rush him and knock him out. He then sends out his Typhlosion, which I'm able to Flame Charge, get a speed up, and break his Blazing Soul ability, and then I'm able to head rush him, knock him out pretty easily. His Cinderace comes out next. He does have Sucker Punch, so I'm just going to bait him out, get a bunch of boosts up, and then bait him into a Zen Headbutt to change his typing into a Psychic typing, which I'm able to Flame Charge into him, knock him out, which is super simple, super easy. And his next Pokemon will be a Sunflora, which I'm able to Flame Charge, knock him out. He then goes out to his Charizard, which I'm able to Flame Charge, does a lot of damage to him, but does not knock him out. And then my Milotic is able to Moonblast, knock out the Charizard and also the Exeggutor, as it really doesn't do too much damage. From there, we're going to easily beat down Archer, and also Ariana gets beat up by my Dodrio. And from there, my Milotic is going to put in a lot of work against Giovanni, and we're able to beat down Giovanni pretty easily, as you can see. Obviously, Lance helped me out, but you know what? We did a lot of work. Trust me on this, I didn't show the full battle, obviously, to save some time, but we actually cleared through Giovanni pretty easily, and we put in our efforts as well. From there, we're going to face off against the 8th and final gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Claire next. Claire's going to start the battle off against us using an Aerodactyl. I'm able to actually Ice Beam into her and then get a freeze, and it will knock her out. So that's super simple. She sends out her Magearna next. I decided to go out into my dojo via Volt Switch. I am able to Swords Dance, take a Flare Cannon, which is enormous. Then I'm able to Flame Charge into the Dragonite and then Rock Slide to knock him out. Survive in Extreme Speed as well. She then goes back out to her Magearna, which I go for a Head Rush, knock her out in one shot. She then goes out to her Naganadel, which I Head Rush. You can see where this is going. Head Rush also knocks out the Dracovish, and also her final Pokemon, Duraludon, which, I mean, that's just embarrassing. I swear Claire is the weakest gym leader of all of them. From there, we're going to face off against our rival in Route 22, and also Brendan right outside of Victory Road, which both of them are not too difficult at all. We might be at our last Pokemon, but we only have 4 Pokemon to begin with most of the time, so it doesn't really matter. We're easily able to beat them without many resets at all. From there, we're able to go into Victory Road and clear through Victory Road super simply, actually. With 4 Pokemon, you thought it would be harder. It's not. We're able to go through Victory Road, and my dojo can't learn Close Combat, which is kind of weird. I swear it did. From there, we're able to face off against the Elite Four and face off against the first Elite Four member of the game. Of course, we got to face off against Lorelei's water team because my team's weak to water. And we're going to start the battle off against Lorelei using my Zeb Striker and also my dojo. We want to negate down the rain, so I'm going to actually set up Sunny Day with my dojo and discharge. Luckily, get a paralyze on the Poliwrath. Twice actually, so we're able to knock out the Politoed, bait in the Swampert, and then I can save my Zeb Striker for later, as she's actually gonna go for an Earthquake to knock out my dojo and her Poliwrath. I go out into my Milotic next. This battle should be over, as I'm able to Giga Drain, knock out the Swampert, do a lot of damage to the Kingdra with my Moonblast, and then her next Pokemon will be a Kyogre, which actually knocks down by my Dhelmise. Her Dracovish will actually knock out my Milotic though, and I could go out into my Zeb Striker. 2v1 at this point should be pretty easy. Even though my Zeb Striker goes down, I am able to 2-shot the Dracovish and knock out Lorelei super simply. From there, we're able to face off against Bruno next. Bruno is going to be the fighting type Elite Four member of the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Zeb Striker to Thunder into the Infernape and then Quick Attack to knock him out. He then sends out his Conkeldurr, which I outspeed. I go for Thunder. He gets paralyzed and he gets stuck in paralysis. I actually sack my Zeb Striker so I could go out into my dojo. And you know how this battle should end. I go for a Swords Dance. I'm a bait out paralysis stuns. I actually get hit with a Mach Punch crit, and it actually activates my Anger Point, which maxes out my attack stat. So I am able to roost off all the damage and then Flame Charge to boost up my speed. And at this point, I'm pretty much broken. I'm able to Head Rush, knock out the Urshifu and the Como, which you thought would be a throw because the Lucario comes out and it's unable to knock me out with a Bullet Punch, so I am able to knock him out with a Head Rush and also knock out the Zacian with a Head Rush. And there goes Bruno. Nothing too difficult. As we face off against Agatha next, Agatha is going to be the Ghost type Elite Four member, and we're going to beat down her Zoroark to start off with my dojo with Head Rush. She then sends out her Spectre, which I don't want to mess with my dojo, which I go out to my Milotic and Moonblast eventually to the Spectre, force out the Aegislash, which I go for a Moonblast and then Toxic, and then I just sack him for some reason. I decide to sack my Milotic and it goes down. So I don't know why I did that. I go out into my dojo and next I am able to Swords Dance, Head Rush to knock out the Aegislash. She then goes out to her Spectre, which I am able to survive a hit. Flame Charge to knock her out. She then goes out to her Marshadow, which I go out to my Dhelmise to Scald and burn it actually and survive any hits from him. Giga Drain to knock out the Marshadow, and then her next Pokemon will be a Gengar. I sack my Dhelmise and then go out to my Zeb Striker to get Thunder Wave off. It gets paralyzed again, which is amazing, so I hit him with a Thunder, and then her final Pokemon will be a Silvally, which I hit with a Thunder luckily, and then I'm able to Head Rush into him. Easily does it and knock out Agatha super easily. Now we head out into the 4th and final Elite Four member before the champion. We're going to face off against Lance next. Lance is going to be the Dragon type Elite Four member, and he's going to start the battle off against us using a Garchomp, which I'm able to Ice Beam. No, actually, I am able to 2-shot him, knock him out. He then goes out to his Melmetal, which I go for a Thunder. Does not get paralyzed, but that's fine. I go out into my dojo to Head Rush. He goes out to his Dragonite, which I stayed in. Rock Slide actually flinches, and then Rock Slide again to knock him out. Dragozolt comes on next, which is going to be a big scare for me, so I go out into my Milotic to Moonblast and Earth Power to knock out the Melmetal, and then the Dragozolt comes back again. I survive an Earthquake using my Dhelmise, so I'm able to bait out the Dialga, switch into my Milotic, and Milotic actually 1v1s this Dialga. Cannot ever use Roar Time, and I also have Shore Up, and also I have Serene Grace Moonblast, which lowers its special attack a lot. I am able to eventually knock out the Dragozolt using my Maltic, which is actually pretty nice. Shore up all the damage. Eventually, I am able to catch Drakezo, knock him out. And then I want the Dialga to wake up so it actually goes back to sleep. I could get more HP this way, Moonblast him to lower his special attack, and end this engagement with more HP than I started. I do get burned though, which isn't too big of a factor as I'm able to Moonblast, and then the Salamence has to double edge me, and it goes down. So we're able to beat down Lance, and now we move on to the champion, which actually took me a good 30 minutes to face off against. So we're able to start off the battle against Gary using my Zebstrika to discharge, actually get the Pheromosa paralyzed, which is great. And then I know from experience, I spent half an hour playing this battle, I know for a fact that it's going to switch into his Groudon, most likely, or his Yveltal, actually one or the other. I decided to go out into my Dhelmise, and Dhelmise is going to Chloroblast, actually dodge an attack from the Groudon, and I'm able to knock him out in 2 shots. Survive with my Dhelmise, not for too long as Dhelmise goes down to the Eternatus. I go out into my Zebstrika to get a lucky discharge paralyze. Ugh, I'm using so much luck, but I gotta do it. I go out into my Maltic to take the Meteor Beam and then Earth Power to knock him down to lower HP. That will actually come in handy later. He decided to go out to his Metagross, which I do a chunky amount to as I go out to my Zebstrika. Second, go out to my Dojo to take a Flame Charge, get my speed up, and then he's gonna send out his Yveltal. I am able to bait out all his Sucker Punches, which is so clutch by me. Honestly, I just have to count it down, slowly count it down, make sure I got it right, and I'm able to Flame Charge, knock down the Yveltal, and then I go out to my Maltic to take an Oblivion Wing, and then Moonblast to knock him out. He then sends out his Pheromosa, which I shore up, bad play, but I am able to knock him out. His next Pokemon will be a Ditto, which will copy my Maltic, but it doesn't copy me completely as I think it is Choice Scarf, so I am able to stall him out with Shore Up and Moonblast. And since he lowers my special attack so many times, I am not able to knock out the Eternatus in one shot, but 2 Earth Powers from my Maltic will be able to knock out the Eternatus, and I am able to beat down the entire Elite Four, the entirety of Radical Red using only 4 SEVII Island Pokemon, which is crazy because I didn't think it would be possible. Like, I tried this multiple times in the past, and I actually sat down and really tried to do it, and I did it. Like, 4 Pokemon challenges are one of the worst ones because you're so limited on who you can have. You can't even switch around your team at all. You don't even have full party. But I am so happy that I end up doing this challenge. I want to say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you guys can, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. Don't mind the buzzing. The buzzing, if you guys do hear buzzing, I don't know what's going on in my recording room, but there is buzzing going on, but I'm just gonna try to get rid of it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. It means a lot to me. My name has been Alpha. Hope you all had a great day, and I'm out. Peace.